Instead, we got a game that launched feeling hollow, was slowly added to, and then abandoned just as it was beginning to feel more complete. So, if you somehow missed it, Animal Crossing New Horizons is getting a massive update on January 15th. That's 4 years after Nintendo explicitly told us there would be no more content updates for the game. In my last video, I talked about why New Horizons isn't my favourite game in the series. That apparently led some people to believe that I hate it, which is incorrect. I don't think New Horizons is a bad game, far from it, and honestly the fact that we're getting any new content for a game many people, Nintendo included, had quietly written off as dead is, in my eyes, objectively a good thing. But what I actually want to look at today is, will this update keep players engaged long term? What does 3.0 mean for the timeline of the next Animal Crossing game? And why are some fans still so divided on what's being added? This video focuses specifically on the free 3.0 update available on both Switch 1 and Switch 2. The Switch 2 edition gets things like the megaphone returning, enhanced resolution, and expanded multiplayer features, but I want to talk about the core gameplay changes that everyone gets, regardless of which console they're on. Let's start with a change I'm personally very excited for. The return of Resetti. For a bit of context, New Horizons was the first Animal Crossing game to introduce autosave. In older games, if you quit without saving, Resetti would show up the next time you logged in and absolutely decimate you for it. As a child playing Wild World on my DS, I genuinely thought that this mole was hacking into my game each time he would burst from the ground outside my house. Autosave in New Horizons made Resetti's original role completely redundant, and as a result, he was left unemployed. No, I am not counting the rescue service as a real job. Autosave literally killed the reset star. So imagine my surprise when I found out that 3.0 is giving Sunny Resetti actual employment again. And not just any job, but one that remedies one of my personal gripes with New Horizons. Yes, Resetti now has the power of mass removal, furniture, trees, and most importantly, flowers. Flowers in New Horizons are genuinely unhinged. They spread like a disease. I even stopped playing at one point because roughly a third of my island had been colonized by floral menaces, and manually digging them up would have required hours of my life I simply wasn't willing to sacrifice. There are even people on Nookazon offering flower removal as a service. That's not normal, and it shouldn't be a thing. So, giving Resetti the ability to nuke them from orbit? Inspired. I'm thrilled. He finally has a purpose again. This version of Resetti is not the same deeply unwell mole that we all grew up with. While I do feel nostalgic for the psychological damage he inflicted on me as a child, there was absolutely no chance Nintendo was going to subject today's children to 2000s Resetti. Angry Coconut put it perfectly, we have enough angry men. This Resetti proves that rehabilitation can work. But I do still have one question. Where is Don? We're also getting a bunch of new collaboration items, including Zelda, Lego, Splatoon, and classic Nintendo consoles with playable games. The Zelda items in particular look amazing. The goddess statue and the silent princess flower are genuinely beautiful, and I already know that I'm going to overuse them. That said, it's disappointingly predictable that the only official way to access a Zelda and Splatoon items and villages is via Amiibo, and to play the classic games you'll need an active Nintendo Switch Online subscription. None of this shocks me. I don't like it, but I'm also not surprised. And let's be honest, I'm sure less official methods of obtaining Amiibo items are already being explored as we speak, so there is hope for those of you who find yourselves Amiibo-less. Now, let's talk about the big new feature. The Resort Hotel. First of all, I appreciate that Nintendo has finally given the dock a purpose beyond just vibes. The hotel fits perfectly with the holiday aesthetic New Horizons has already leaned into, so thematically, it makes sense. A lot of people have pointed out that the gameplay around the hotel is very similar to Happy Home Paradise, and yeah, it is. But that shouldn't surprise anyone. New Horizons is fundamentally a decoration game. Crafting and decorating are its core mechanics, and Nintendo continues to double down on that. One thing that does make me a little sad is that Layla, Cappen's daughter, doesn't seem to have much of a role here. If you played New Leaf, you'll remember that she ran what I can only describe as a high-level money laundering operation disguised as a supermarket on Tortimer Island. I would have loved to have seen her expand her organised crime empire in New Horizons, but apparently that's too much to ask. What I'm actually curious about is how long the hotel will keep me engaged. Will the new furniture refresh the decorating loop enough to stave off burnout? Maybe. I'm cautiously optimistic. It's also still unclear whether we can recruit hotel guests to live permanently on our islands. If we can, that would add a much needed reason to actually care about tourists beyond aesthetics. We're also getting Slumber Islands, up to 3 per player in small, medium or large sizes. This is honestly a great idea. A lot of players are reluctant to touch their main island once it's quote-unquote finished, and Slumber Islands give you a sandbox space to experiment without destroying something you've already poured hundreds of hours into. Like Dream Islands, Slumber Islands require a Nintendo Switch Online subscription, which is, again, unfortunate but expected. I am also delusional enough myself to hope that the online experience gets improved in 3.0 because currently it's bad. Sometimes painfully bad. I am, however, very excited about terraforming with friends. That opens the door to some genuinely fun challenges and experiments. What's less exciting is that we don't seem to be getting any additional custom design slots. With 3 new islands to decorate, that's kinda rough. Most players have already filled their slots just working on their main island. It's also unclear whether resident services can be moved. If Nintendo is giving us enhanced sandbox freedom on Slumber Islands but still refuses to let us move a central landmark, that would be kind of absurd. So I'm choosing to manifest that we can. Now for quality of life changes. More storage. Great. Being able to put trees, bushes, and flowers in storage? Fantastic. Bulk crafting and crafting pulling directly from home storage? About time. This alone is massive. Nintendo has, shockingly, decided to respect our time. But can we bulk buy Nook Miles tickets? Can we bulk buy our Able sisters? Probably not. They would have mentioned it. Still, I would love to be wrong. Obviously, there are things missing. I would have loved more shop upgrades. I would have loved tropical fruit returning from New Leaf. Mini games would have been incredible. So why am I not as disappointed as some people? Because I genuinely didn't think that New Horizons would get another update at all. Nintendo said so themselves. Because even if the content isn't exactly what I would have added, it still adds more to do. Because while the hotel overlaps with Happy Home Paradise, I'd still choose it than have nothing. And because we don't actually know the full extent of what's being added yet. I've said it before and I'll say it again. New Horizons is a design game. And for a design game, an unexpected update offering new creative tools is hard for me to be mad about. I do want to clarify something though. Some people seem to think that I don't like playing New Horizons. That's not true. I love designing, and I genuinely think New Horizons has great furniture and item design. My issue is burnout. When designing becomes the gameplay loop, I get bored after long stretches. Older games broke this up with things like Main Street or Tortimer Island. That variety kept me engaged long term. Will 3.0 change how I feel about New Horizons overall? Probably not. But it does give me a reason to boot the game back up, and I really like seeing the community come back to life because of it. Community is crucial to a game's longevity, and that revival makes me so excited about whatever's to come next. Let's talk about the future. First of all, there will be another Animal Crossing game. I cannot believe this even needs saying. New Horizons is one of the best-selling Switch games of all times. A sequel is guaranteed. My guess is that we're still at least a couple of years away, but I'd love to be wrong. What I find really interesting is the idea that 3.0 is being used as a testing ground. If these features are well received, they're likely to be baked into the next game from the start. That's great news for anyone who wants better quality of life systems going forward. If I could make one wish for the next game though, it would be this: ditch the island. Islands work for what New Horizons was trying to do, but they lose the small town atmosphere that Katsuya Iguchi originally envisioned for the series. I miss towns, I miss trains, I miss that cozy, lived-in neighborhood feeling. Islands are tranquil and flexible, but villages feel like home. Those are my thoughts on the 3.0 update. I know I didn't cover everything in exhaustive detail, but if you made it this far, thank you for watching, and please comment, "Justice for Layla!" Is 3.0 perfect? No. Is it everything fans have been asking for over the last 4 years? Definitely not. But is it a welcome addition to a game many people had written off? Absolutely. I think it will bring lapsed players back, give current players something new to mess around with, and keep the community going while we wait for the next game. What are you most excited about in 3.0, and what do you want to see in the next Animal Crossing game? Let me know in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up and consider subscribing, and I'll see you in the next one. Happy island decorating!